How you doing, everyone? Turkey Buzzard here. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to cover a mod called Ground. It's by Wim95, and this mod was uploaded the end of August in 2016, and it has over 21,000 downloads. No bugs, so very popular mod. And what it does is it adds ground pieces and slopes that you can put in your settlements so that you can either level the ground out or make areas where you can actually build under the ground. And it adds the blocks and the ground slopes. Some of them have furrows. They all have snap points so that you can snap them together. Also, you can snap plants to your furrows and things like that. There's also some with water. And all of these are nav meshed so that you don't have to worry about your settlers not interacting with them. So let's go in game and I'll show you what is in this mod. Okay, I'm at Oberland Station, and I chose this spot because it's got a pretty good size hill that we can use to build off from. Now, before we actually build, wanted to go through and show you some of the different textures that they give you with these blocks. Now, some of them have furrows for planting different crops and whatever. Also, there's many different slopes and corner pieces. Also, quite a few with water. And you know, this, if you have this mod, you'll find it all the way at the end. There's different water plots. That you can use. There's also configurable water. So quite a, you know, you could build actually a whole lake pretty much with this. But also many textures. Now, I'm not going to cover every one of these because we got a lot to do here. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going over all of these. But you'll notice that there's different kinds of grass, leaves, sand, craters, different debris, coast rock, foothills, ocean floors, you know, all kinds of stuff, gravel and mud. So you have quite a collection of different textures to choose from, and these all snap to each other, and they will also snap right on top of each other. So that makes it really handy to work with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of all this stuff real quick, and then I'll be back and we can start building. Okay, now I've gotten rid of all those pieces. I put a little building down there and put some beds in there for them so they have a place to be out of my way, and got rid of this building that was here, and that way we have a clear area to work with. Now, I've decided to use going into here, I came all the way over to where it says square ground flat and ground without slopes. Okay, and I'm going to use grass. There's a couple of them. This one's a little dark, so I'm using this one because it pretty much matches. And I've got a wood floor piece here because I wanted to show you that these actually snap right to these. So that will be significant later on. And notice that they're the same size. So we're going to start with this flat grass piece. And I'm going to kind of run it over here until it sort of runs into the dirt here, just so that it blends in. Now sometimes these are a little tricky to get them to snap exactly where you want them to. Sometimes they want to go up a little higher or down a little lower or whatever. But if you work on it, you can get them to go where you want them. See, now that one went up a little bit. And doing it this way, you can get these to actually blend in with the ground so that it's kind of a seamless transition into the ground here. So again, I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit just so that I've got some of this done, so this video isn't so long and you can see what I'm going to do with this. Okay, I went along and I placed all these pieces of ground down, and in order to make this deep enough, I ended up having to raise these a little bit. Now that could create a little bit of a problem here, and you know, there's ways that I could probably fix this. You know, maybe run these pieces over like this. I don't know why it's not snapping. There we go. You know, the problem is, you know, it's going to end up covering these railroad tracks up. And I would really rather preserve these railroad tracks and leave them there. So I think what I'm going to do is, there's a lot of areas with rocks here. This whole area is all covered with rocks. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll go over here to the Nuka World section, Dry Rock Gulch, and there's all kinds of boulders and cliff faces. So what I'll do is I'll leave this for now, and then when I finish this build, I'll go around and trim around these so that we've got rocks around them, so it looks more natural. But we're going to save that for the end. Right now what we're worried about is creating this underground spot. So I think what I'm going to do is use this for a basement for their house. Now when I placed all these pieces down, I went with flat pieces. However, over here I placed some with furrows, because we're going to want to set it up so that their garden can be put up here. So we've got a spot for their garden, and then we've got a spot for their lawn. I hate the way this sun comes out. It changes the looks of everything. But for now, what we need to do is go down here and start setting up our basement. Now I want this to look kind of rough, and I think for the house I'm going to use a snappy house kit. But for the basement, I believe what I'm going to do is use this gravel. And maybe I'll move it over here so I can judge better. Lower it down. Get it so that it's I don't mind the grass sticking up through a little bit. Let's try this again. Wants to snap. There we go. Maybe right there. That don't look bad. So now if we can snap these there. This will give the basement kind of a rough floor, and I think that would look more natural. These are sometimes kind of finicky to work with. There we go. Now this is going to give us a nice rough floor for the basement. Now for the walls in the Snappy House kit, we've got these walls, and I think those are going to be perfect. So we'll run around and put these walls. There we go. Nice. So that's going to give us a nice rough looking basement for this house. Now we're probably going to want stairs to go up, you know, to go down from the house into the basement, but I think we're also going to want some kind of access from the outside for the basement. So we'll go back to our ground pieces. And we're going to want to put some, let me see, ground with slopes. Want to go with gravel or with grass. And this is probably, yeah, see, that's not going to want to, we're going to have to work our way around it here. Like that. Now we can put the slope piece in. There we go. That'll give us a spot where we can have a doorway, and it will go up outside. We'll have some steps there. Put some walls. There we go. And then that way we can put a doorway here. And then put some steps here going up out. And then for the walls for the house, I think we'll, let me see, white, red, got gray, red, yeah, I think we're just going to go with the gray. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And then for the floors, we're just going to go with the regular. It's going to want to give me a hard time. So what I'll do for this is move this for a minute. See if this will snap. It doesn't want to. So I'll also move this one. There, now it'll snap. So now we can go back down here and put our walls back in. Sometimes you got to diddle around with this stuff. It has to be done in a certain order in order to get things to snap where you want it and whatever. But that does that. And then, of course, for the walls, we've got this. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go through and finish building this house. And I'll probably edge around it with the rocks. Because really what the purpose of this video was to show you how to build something beneath the level of the ground. So we've pretty much done that so far. So I'm just going to go through, finish building this house and trimming it up, decorating it, and then I'll come back and show you what I ended up with. Okay, so this is what I ended up with, and you know, obviously you can all build the way you want to build when you do this. The main thing with this video was to show you how to work underground, but I decided to do this. I repaired the railroad tracks, put some rocks along the edge here. Ended up with this house. Added a few trees and whatever, bushes here and there. And as I said, because this place has got a lot of rocks around the area, I just felt that using these rock faces fit in well with the territory. I brought their plants up here and planted them. They snapped right in. And they came right up and started actually farming their plants. So the settlers are using the area. I didn't do a whole lot with this, you know, mainly just gave them simple furnishings. I didn't want to give them anything elaborate or make a beautiful house here. This was just a quick build, just to show what you can do with an underground mod. Which brings us to the underground part. So let's walk downstairs and see how the basement came out. Nice stairway going down into the basement. Brought my workbench down here. Set them up a nice place to do their laundry. A little bit of storage down here. But it's your basic basement. And they have a set of stairs coming out. Now this door is actually a hatch door from this Castle in the Sky mod, and I tilted it here, built in the sides with some pieces from Cabin in the Woods. But it worked out nicely, and as I said, it gave us a nice spot to have actually a basement for this house, which goes underground. So that's how you can use the ground mod to create some areas underground, whether you're creating a basement, maybe an underground bunker, whatever. But this mod gives you a lot of options. Unfortunately, it's only available for PC, but for those who do have PC, I would recommend the mod highly. I'm having a lot of fun with it myself. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. I always appreciate it when you do. And as always, I want to thank everybody for watching. And I'll see you again next week.